What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another Street Fighter Duel video. Alright guys, this is gonna be a huge one. Grab your popcorn, grab your drinks, get ready for a long video. There will be chapters accompanied with this, but this is gonna be my first all-in-one guide to cover everything about the game from day one up to end game. And we're gonna be talking about as much topics as we possibly can that make sense. And the first one we're gonna talk about is re-rolling. Is it worth it? Is it not? How do you do it and what to go for if you plan to? All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about real quick is how do you re-roll? So when you jump in the game, guys, you're going to have the option to choose servers. Every time you want to roll an account, you have to jump on a new server and create a brand new account, okay? Now, what that means is you can still go back on your existing accounts and use those, but you can't transfer accounts over. So in order to re-roll, every time you don't get a character you want, you'll have to jump into a brand new server, use a new one or ones that exist that are still have capacity to jump in, finish the tutorial, and then you can do your summon roll and go from there. Now, a lot of you are going to try to roll for Bison. I don't recommend it because, and I'll tell you why further in the video. I just go with the rolls you get. If you're looking for a specific character, we'll talk about the top 3 you should be aiming for in another section of the video. But is re-roll worth it? In my opinion, it is not, because then you have to create brand new accounts and constantly eat up a capacity of different servers. But it's completely up to you. So remember, in order to re-roll, you can't just reset on the same server. You have to create a brand new account on different servers like this right here. All right, guys, going on to the next topic, difference between C, B, and A units. So I'll see you guys on the next part. All right, boys and girls, jumping on to the next topic, and that is the difference between C, B, and A units and how they play an integral part in this game. So let's talk about the different kinds of units and what they are going to do for you in this game. So let's go to the gallery, and these are going to be your SSS tier fighter. So these are all your A purple units right here, and these are the ones that you're going to grow on your account in order to increase your max level cap, which we'll talk about soon, and also the characters that you want to use as your main party. Now, these S tier fighters are going to be your blue orbs, and they're going to be primarily used for food. We'll explain the different tiers and what they're used for and how to get them there. And then also C tier fighters are only used for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is dismissal, in order to use those tokens in the dismiss shop. So let's talk about C fighters first. If you go to your Awaken tab here, you're going to see a option on the side on the right that's called dismiss. If you click that, you want to click off auto dismiss here and then let that do its magic. So what'll happen every time you summon a C unit, it'll automatically dismiss them, and then you can use those dismissal points right here in this shop here, okay? So you can get yourself 3 A fragments, some Rufus, Dan, Rolento, some B fragments, and then some Faith Gems. And these are the ones up here, okay? So this is what the use of C fighters is. There is no other purpose, guys, besides that. Now, going on to B units. If we go back to your Awaken, your B units are going to exist for the purpose of leveling up, or sorry, ranking up your A units, okay? So as you can see here, I've got a couple B plus units. Now these were created by putting together 3 of the same B units. So for example, in order to get an Ibuki to B plus, I had to have 3 other B Ibukis, okay? So let's go see if I have an example here. This is all B pluses. Let's see if I have anything in here. These are all B pluses as well. Okay, so these are all B pluses. So let's talk about that. So once you get it to B plus, your next roll is going to be to take these units to A. So let's just say I want to get Rolento to A. You take 1 Rolento, and then you match them up with 2 other A plus B units. So you go to 1 and 1. Okay, if you awaken this, you'll see he becomes an A. So with an A, what you need to do now is get another Rolento unit in order to get him to A plus. So you can see here now I have an A Ken, I have an A Rolento, so I can either get a Ken or a Rolento. So what I'll do is I'll get, let's say, a Ken up now instead. I'll go Rolento and Haken, and now I'll get a Ken to an A. Okay, and then what'll happen here now is you want to take those 2 Kens, you can quick awaken if you want, and you'll get those 2 Kens together to an A plus. So let's do it manually. I'll take this Ken, and you can see here I pick my other Ken, and now he's an A plus. Now there's 2 options here at this point. Okay, if you're a brand new player, these A plus units are going to be used in order to get your other units up to, your A units up to S, okay? So you can use 2 blue foods, awaken it, and you can see here, he becomes an S, okay? Once you hit S, you're gonna need another copy of a Dawn, okay, in order to get him to S plus, okay? Once you get to S plus, you're then going to need an S plus B unit. Okay, so what you want to do there in order for that to happen is you pick, let's say Ken. You want to pick 2 other B units. Even though we'll have an extra dupe, Ken, leave him there. Do not use him. So I'm going to use 2 Hawkins here. So you can see there are 2 A pluses. Awaken that. You see here he becomes S. Now, this is the furthest a B unit can go. If you click on another Ken, which you need another A plus version of him, and awaken him, that's the maximum level these B units can go. And this is, you're going to need multiple versions of these S pluses in order to get your guys up to SSS. Okay? So the furthest it goes is it'll go SS, one more, and then you need one more to get SS plus, and that's it for the food for that unit. So that's how it works, guys. So you'd use him. You can see here, get to SS. Then you need one more S plus unit to get to SS plus, and then from there you need 2 copies of that A unit to advance further to SSS. Okay, I just want to point that out. So S units max quality is S plus. They do not go further. They're just used for food. Okay. And as we mentioned in the gallery, these are going to be your SS units. Your goal, guys, is going to take your units to SS as quick as possible for your main 4 specifically first. And we'll talk about the reason why in a different section of the video. But in order to do that, I just explained, you need to go to Awaken, you need to use 2 S plus units to get to SS plus. Then you need 4 copies of the same A unit in order to get it to SSS. And then from there you can go to SSS plus 5, but you need more copies of A plus units of the same unit that you plan to go up further on. Okay, so that's how that works. I just want to point that out. So I hope that explains. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. But that is the difference between C, B, and A units. I know it can be confusing at times, but that's the best way to understand it in my opinion. Okay, guys, going on to the next topic, which is what characters you should focus on when you first start the game. Alright guys, welcome back. So now we're going to talk about the 3 characters you should probably focus on more than anybody else when you start the game, and that's going to help you as a free-to-play player or even a whale, especially driving these characters to end game. They will put in so much work for you, and some of them are actually a necessity at this point, right? So the first character you really need to have is going to be the one that's going to impact you the most, and that's going to be Bison. Bison, if you have not seen any of my videos, I did a showcase on him, plus most of my videos have him in there as an integral part. And what it brings to the table for you is he gives you an AoE spin that does a stun and interrupt. With manual gameplay, you're going to beat a lot of teams that are going to be much higher in CP as you because of Bison. So he is going to be your #1 priority of getting as a unit. So whenever you get those A cards, in order to choose a faction, choose Wind and try to get him in there. And on top of that, you're going to get a secondary character as part of the top 3, and that's going to be Guile. Guile is going to be your main DPS for a very long time, including boss fights, regular events, and he's going to also be your main DPS in PvE, and can also be used in PvP. So that's a secondary unit that's Win. So even if you don't get Bison, you may get an option to get a Guile in the cart that you choose when it's Win. And also keep in mind, you can also get Guile in the city shop right here. So the first few points you get, you're going to get quite a few of them. Go focus on Guile first and grab him from the shop. Remember, you can reset the shop for 1,000 diamonds. It's kind of actually worth it in order to get a second copy of him, in order to get him up a little further. So Guile is going to be another unit you want to focus on, all right? So going to the next unit here, it's going to be, sorry, let's go back here. It's going to be the 3rd unit, is going to be Sea Viper. So I like Sea Viper better than Guile personally, but some people like Guile better. So it's a preference. Sea Viper is the ultimate Bison killer team, or Bison team killer, because she attacks back units and has a massive AoE that does shock and burn damage. So definitely a top pick here, top 3 for sure. So Sea Viper is a little more difficult to get, and she's also part of the I'd say weakest flame faction because they don't have as many good units there. But those 3 are going to be your primary essential. Some honorable mentions you're going to get, obviously, is Mad Ryu. He will take you pretty far in terms of mid game, but he'll start falling off quite a bit. Elena, obviously, you're going to need mid to end game a little more. And you're going to also want to look at Chun-Li as a character because she's incredible for all PvE and PvP content because she's super fast, and also Cammy for bosses. So those are some honorable mentions that you can start with as well. But the top 3 for sure are going to be these 3. The essential one is going to be specifically Bison. So that's my suggestion to you guys. When you get those A cards to summon a certain faction, go for Wind all the time. And also in your draw section, make sure that you go in here and you set your wish list and you put in the units, specifically Bison for Wind, Guile, and then also Chun-Li in here if you can. And then also in Lightning, put in Elena, Mad Ryu if you want, E Honda I suggest, and Zangief as well, and Blanca. Those are really good ones too. And then Sea Viper, Dalsim in here, and you can put in like Adon, who's actually a really good character as well too. And then that's up to you from there if you want to put B units for food or if you want to continue with A units. But those three guys are your must-have units when you first start the game. Alright guys, now we're going to be talking about something else, and we're going to be moving on the different currencies in the game and how to use them and how to get them. Alright, moving on to the next topic. Alright boys and girls, welcome back. Now the next topic we're going to talk about is the different currencies in the game and how to acquire them and how to use them. So the first one we're going to talk about are gems. So gems are going to be up here, your diamonds, and these are going to be used pretty much throughout the entire game for summoning, divination. They're going to be used for purchasing gear, items in the shops, and they're going to be pretty much used to reset anything such as turns for guild fights, reset your fighting heart, reset your legendary units and who they're linked to, etc. Right? So diamonds are going to be something you're going to receive through events, through just doing your dailies, and you can purchase them, right? So there's various ways to get them. The second thing here is going to be money. Now money is going to be used for various different purposes, such as leveling up your characters, equipping gear, and not equipping gear, leveling up your gear. Also, ways to get them is you can do it through Shadowloo City. You can get it through idle game, through the idle treasure chest. You can purchase it from the general shop. Let me go back here. Through the general shop here when it pops up. So for example, sometimes you'll get yourself this right here, Mound of Cash. And again, it's used for mostly leveling up gear and characters. And you'll also have a lot of chests here that you'll receive Mounds of Cash, and they'll be used throughout the entire game. So a very, very important currency. All right, next one up is going to be your Fighter EXP. Now this currency is used specifically to level up your characters themselves. So for example here, if I use this, let's just use all these right now and go back to my limit break. And my limit breaks are going to probably look different than yours, and that's okay. I'll talk about the differences in limit break shortly. But as you can see here, money and limit break are required. As you do this, you'll get yourself another level. And there we go. We got 399, and we move on, okay? And then, as you saw there a second ago, there's also these breakstones. Now, breakstones are going to be used in order to break your characters from their current level cap and move them up further, okay? These are going to be a commodity that you're going to need very, very much of in the beginning, up to 240, and then 240 becomes a little less reliant on breakstones and more reliant on Fighter EXP, which we just covered. These can also be earned through idle, through events, through Shadowloo City, through the shops, and you can purchase them with real-life money. All right, next currency is going to be these stones here. The purple stones are going to be used to level up your fighting spirit, which we'll talk about in a whole separate part of the video. These are to go from level 0 to 10. Then the yellow ones will go from 10 to 20, and then these boost stones, the strong ones, will go from 20 to 40, depending on the character. Max 30, max 40, right? So these are going to be again acquired through events, idle shop, through purchasing through the general store, or purchasing with real life money. Alright, next currencies. You're going to get these cards as you summon or as you play the game. These cards will allow you to either randomly get a unit from a faction that's random, or let you choose the faction. You can usually see right here it says open to get an 8 grade unit. This one actually lets you choose the faction you want to go with. Now these ones are going to be specifically from a summoning chest, or you can get them again through events and purchase them using the event tokens. And then there's going to be two other tokens here, which is going to be your arcade coin and your faction coin. These are mainly used for summoning. Arcade coins are used to summon from the basic normal summoning section. The faction ones will be from the faction section. And then there's divination, which is going to be your divination scroll, where you can choose a character and summon for them. You have a chance to get resources, items, more diamonds, gear, etc. And then there's lastly going to be the special summon ticket, which was just introduced. And that's going to be used to summon for limited time characters or special characters like Akuma and other ones that are going to be coming down the pipeline. Not to be confused with collab characters. Those are a whole separate currency altogether. Alright, now you're going to get these blue cards, which allow you to choose faction from blue units. Sometimes there's going to be blue cards without an actual faction. Those are random cards, so pop those up when you get them. These A orbs are going to give you random A units. These blue orbs are going to give you random blue units. Fragments will give you, once you complete the set amount of fragments required, a specific character. These rename cards are going to be used to re-roll your actual faction on gear. Only use them on red gear. Again, I'll put it in recommended videos in the last part. I have a whole gear guide set up for that. These are tokens for tier 1. Right here, these are tier 2. And then these are used for the different classes, okay? These battle crystals are going to be used in Shadowloo City to do revives. And these practice scrolls are going to be to increase your limited your limit break sections, to add additional characters to level them up to the top 4 levels that you have. Faith gems are going to be used for fighting heart We'll talk about that in a whole separate section as well too. And then these are treasure chests that give you various different things. And then these are going to be fragments for your EX moves. So those are some of the main tokens, guys, that you want to focus on in the game. Those are ones that you're going to be getting throughout the game and using them in different sections. There's quite a few of them, but if you ever need to refer to any, come back to this video anytime and take a look. And remember, tokens, other currencies in the game will depend on the events. So as events come out, new event tokens will be introduced and currencies will be introduced as well. All right, guys, if I missed anything, let me know in the comment section. I'm more happy to explain it. But for now, that's essentially the main currencies in the game that you want to use, outside, of course, the guild shop, dismissal shop, city shop, and honor shop, which you get special tokens based on the content that's currently being used. So yeah, and don't forget, diamonds can also be received through arena. From dailies, battle royale, you can get a ton of rewards here. If you go to the reward section, there's okay, I guess I didn't show it there. Oh wait, let's go to leaderboard. There we go, ranking rewards. You get yourself div tickets, faction tokens, arcade, boost gems, or faith gems for being number 1, 2, 3. You can get diamonds as well. So various different ways to do it. And if you're also participating in the Super Showdown, they also give you rewards based on right here, based on your ranking and where you're set. So these are good ways to get yourself some additional prizes and tokens. So there you guys have it. If I missed anything, if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section, and I'm more than happy to go further into the currencies of the game. Again, I'll be putting a recommended video section at the end, so you guys can click on any links, and I've further expanded on most of these currencies in said videos. All right, guys, moving on to the next topic, and that is going to be the shops themselves. All right, guys, we'll talk about those very shortly. Alright guys, welcome back to the shop section. Now, the shop section is pretty important because it will allow you to advance further in the game if you're smart about how to use it. Now, the general shop is going to be your main place to get most of your items, and that's going to be the special summon tickets, the original tokens, or sometimes they're the strengthening tokens, which are the yellow ones, or just various different other items that you can purchase here. The shadow crystal ball, which you don't really want to touch for the most part, that's the level your EX moves. Breakstones you always want to buy, and the workshop tokens you always want to buy when you unlock it. And then from there, it's all diamond related, so it's up to you where you want to go from that point on. But this is a section where you want to refresh at least once a day or twice, if depending on where you're at, and purchase some of these money tokens money currencies as much as you possibly can, because they will actually help you in the long run. Okay. I have a whole video on this. Again, I'll link it into the recommended videos at the end of this, so I have a full breakdown on what you want to focus on. Guild shops. This is where you purchase items and tier tokens and gear with your actual gear or your guild points. So as you do the bosses, as you do the Shadowlands, you're going to get guild points, and you can use those towards getting yourself some of these tokens, some of these armors, factional based or non-factional based. And this is going to be a very important part of your progression in the game. So definitely focus on guild shop points, and especially getting yourself the tier tokens and the factional gear. All right, dismissal shop. So we talked about this a little bit earlier in the actual C, B, and A rank section. This is going to be where whenever you dismiss C units, you're going to get these tokens, and you're going to use those tokens to actually purchase yourself some of these A grade units, B grade units, and also some of these faith gems. So definitely focus on getting the three A ones at least, and then move on to the B ones if you need food. A very important shop, and it does reset once a month, or you can reset it yourself for 1,000 diamonds before the month end. Okay, so that's something you also can do as well too. City shop, same thing here. You'll get this from the Shadowloo City. You can use these tokens here to get yourself characters, blue and purple, and also you can get yourself boost stones and blue fragments. Again, can be reset 1,000 gems per month. Juries, most people are going to wait for Jury to try to get that. She's always available. These do not rotate. They're always the same characters. Additional characters may be added in the future, but these are it for now. Honor shop. These are now from the showdown. So you collect these through the showdown. As you go up in rank, every few hours you can go there, collect the chest, and get points, and they will be used to get yourself these characters. Again, these are not rotatable. They will always be the same characters unless they add new ones, and you can get yourself some of these boost stones here as well too. And again, same scenario. 100 gems to refresh this rather than 1,000, so a little bit better, but these tokens are much more, much harder to get. So this shop here is going to be a place where you're going to spend a lot of your time, not necessarily the honor shop, but the general shop. So definitely understand it, get used to it, and take advantage of it while you can. All right, guys, that's it for the shops. I won't be doing a whale shop at all. I'll link the video at the end though in terms of what to look for, so you guys can focus on those if you want to know what to spend real life money on. but I don't promote that anymore, so I'm not going to try to do that here. I'll do it in the recommended videos only for you guys. Okay, so now we're going to move on to how many units you should level and why. All right, jumping on to the next one, guys. Alright guys, welcome back to the next part of it. Now we're going to be talking about how many units to level. Now this one's important because a lot of new players are making this mistake and they're forcing themselves to level many units up at the same time. Don't do that. All you want to do is focus on 4 units, and here's the reason why. This is going to be quick. When you unlock Limit Break, which you will fairly early on, your actual monument level will be based on your top 4 characters. So you're going to have 4 characters listed here. Mine looks different. I'll explain mine afterwards. Mine looks different. So you're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4 units, and the highest level, or the highest 4 units level-wise, will be what dictates your level under here. So do not focus on more than 4 units at a time. If you have done so already, go to your Awaken tab, click on the reset button, and you can reset the unit here that you've poured resources into, and it will reset those units for you. The only resource you will not be able to get back, and you won't even have this at this point anyways if you're making this mistake, is going to be the Fighting Spirit Stones. So guys, 4 units max until you unlock Limit Break, and then from there you can place your other units in here, and they will fall in line for the lowest level 4. Out of the 4, the lowest level that you have, that's what these units will be. So if they're all evenly at 150, you're going to get 150. If 3 of them are 150, 1 is a 149, then the rest of these guys under here will be 149. So they'll be based on your top 4 lowest level unit that you have out of the top 4, okay? So no more than 4 characters ever. That's the rule. All right, guys, moving on to the next topic. That was an easy one. Manual versus auto. This is going to be important, so please take note of this one. Alright guys, welcome back. So this is going to be manual versus auto and why it's more important to use manual, especially free to play, in order to advance yourself even further. Now I'm going to show you a clip I did live on one of my videos to kind of express to you the difference between the two and how going auto can get you killed way quicker or not even let you finish a level versus manual, which will actually let you complete the event or the challenge that you're in. So let's check out this video real quick and we'll go from there.
And then you're going to see manual. So here, let's just do a quick auto battle. You guys will see how it goes. I'm not going to interfere with this, but here's how it's going to pass out here. We're going to do Ken instead, okay? Same combo I would do manually is going to happen auto here, okay? So you guys are watching this, right? Like, they're getting their health back. I mean, it's not a bad attack, but I mean, so far, so I lost Ken right there, right? Okay, so watch this. Now, I'm going to slow it down for manual and explain to you guys how manual works and why it's so important to play manual, okay? And I play semi-auto, not just manual. Oh, into that channel. So you guys saw I pretty much lost that fight, right? Yeah, I unfortunately the game just froze. It was weird. It does that sometimes. Okay, so here we go. Same team setup. Okay, I'm just gonna. I mean, you really don't need the formation change. I'll just change it anyways. But so you're gonna go Elena, this and this. Okay. 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 You ready? Watch what happens now. Manually. Okay, I'm gonna do this manually. Okay. Manual times 2. Let's go times 2. Now watch their gauge. You want to watch their super gauge, right? Now start this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Charm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4. See the difference? Look at this. No problemo, boys. No problemo. You guys seen that? Did you guys see that? Look at the difference manual made. I stopped every single heal. I stopped every single combo for going through. I did the charm. I connected with all my combos. No problem.
Alright guys, welcome back. So that was the auto versus manual gameplay. Thank you for allowing me to use one of my old videos there, and I think it kind of portrays to you guys. Now this is at high level. This is I was like stage 37, 38-ish. Really high level, so the power gap between me and the enemy was pretty high. But now we're going to move on to something else. We're going to be talking about what faction has the most useful units and where you want to focus on first before you focus on anything else. So real quick here, we're going to go to the gallery and I'm going to show you guys here a faction that I think is going to be very useful for you, and that is going to be the Wind faction. Oh, somebody's trying to spar me. Sorry, buddy. I'll say no for this one for now. So Wind faction here specifically is going to give you the most amount of bang for buck in terms of the amount of units to use throughout every piece of content. So Chun-Li, Guile, Abel, Cammy, obviously Bizang, and Street Poison. Those are going to be some of the staple characters you're going to use throughout the entire game. So if you're going to focus on a wind, or on a faction, sorry, wind faction is going to be your go-to. Now, remember this real quick, and this is going to tie into the next topic, is going to be faction towers will eventually open up for you, and you're going to want to aim for getting 100, level 120 on faction towers, not only for the amazing rewards, which I'll link to you in a different, in the recommended video section, but because the towers give you, sorry, you're going to need to level up each of these factions in order to go progress through the tower. Master Infernal do not count. So even though Wind is the best faction that you should focus on first, you're going to need to level and get up Thunder and Flame as well. So don't wear yourself too thin, but in the beginning, the Wind faction is the best faction just because of the amount of good characters it has. Now, the Thunder faction has the most tanks and the best tanks in the game, and the Flame faction has some of the best AoE and some of the best single target damage dealers in Viper and Dhalsim, but nobody touches the Wind faction. As a matter of fact, the only other new faction character we've got out of the 3 faction has been Street Poison. Everyone else is Master and Infernal, which you can see all the way up here, but we're not going to focus on those because they're more pay-to-win related characters. So definitely Wind faction is the best faction to focus on. All right, guys, moving on to the next thing, we're talking about Supreme Fist, Inverse World, and Global Operation, and then we're going to talk about some other stuff after that, all right? Alright guys, welcome back here. So this is now going to be talking about Supreme Fist and the importance of getting through this as much as possible and what benefits you can reap. Also talking about Inverse World and Global Operation. And we're going to shortly touch base on bounties in Shadowloo City as well too, and may as well. But Supreme Fist is probably going to be your next set of most important content outside of doing the actual challenge mode. And the reason why is because number one, as you start early, you're going to get yourself a ton of diamonds and rewards as you go through it. Every 10 levels will net you some purple orbs, some breakstones, and some money. But more importantly, up to level, I believe, 250-ish, maybe 300, you're going to get yourself a plethora of diamonds. So definitely focus on doing that. Now, as you progress, the money will go up and the breakstones will go up, but the actual orbs won't. And not to mention, in the beginning, Steps of Honor is going to be a huge part of your progression and reward system. So definitely work on Supreme Fist like alongside challenging, because the challenge story mode, because you want to take advantage of those rewards, because the Steps of Honor will eventually disappear, and you want to make sure you get as many of those rewards as you can. Even if you don't hit the top 3, it's still worthwhile getting them done, right? Okay, moving on to the faction towers. Now these ones are going to give you the best amount of rewards period in the game in terms of what you get. As you progress, especially when you hit floor 120, you're going to open up additional items in the dojo and traits that you definitely want to unlock. But while you're brand new, what they end up giving you guys is a ton of EXP for equipment, which you can use to level up your equipment. They give you money. They give you 8 A-Shard tokens. You'll get yourself Origin Stones, Strengthening Stones, and as you progress further, you're going to get yourself some Div tokens and some like larger amounts of Breakstones. So this is going to be a fantastic way to get yourself some currencies to summon, some currencies to level up your gear, and especially getting through those Breakstone issues that you're going to have in the beginning. Now, that's why I said in the last video, focus on all 3 different factions. Even though Wind is the best faction, you still want to have at least 4 solid units for each one of these, and maybe 2 assists on the side to help you buff some of those stats. But this is going to be where you're going to spend most of your time. And now they've increased it to 20 floors a day rather than 10, so it's even easier to progress, but it is going to take some time. It's free to play and brand new, because the units are going to take some time to build, and the enemies are going to be a little bit tougher. So Supreme Fist, an extremely important part of the game. All right, global operations. Do not take your time on trial grounds. Get them done as soon as you unlock them. You get yourself a lot of exploration rewards, and main rewards usually are composed of brand new fighting souls, which we'll talk about in a whole different video. But these are all puzzle based with some enemies, very easy to do, actually fairly fun, and again, you get to reap a lot of the rewards. So do not waste your time on this. Get it going. Sorry, do not waste your time doing these. Get them done as soon as you possibly can. Okay. Inverse World is another really important one. This one here is going to net you the most amount of blue orbs and purple orbs and faith gems, and also unlock some of brand new faith fighting souls that you don't have available anywhere else. So this is going to be a hard piece of content. I'm starting to make guides for you guys. I've already done how to max out your score on Master Trial and Apocalypse Challenge. Shadowloo King I'm working on next, and then these ones here are going to be a lot more difficult. So you're going to need 240 plus on most of these to complete max level, but you can also still go smaller portions of it just to get some of the blue rewards at least out of the way. So Inverse World, a very important part in order to get food and A units and Fate Gems and brand new Fighting Souls. Definitely put some focus on that one as well. Global Operate, sorry, not Global, Shadowloo City, something you definitely want to do every single time it's up. You get 2 days to finish it. You reap yourself with benefits such as breakstones, diamonds, money, and fighting EXP for your fighters, and as well as you get to unlock different traits for Akuma and Goken in terms of stage 2 and 3, and also you get to visit the Shadowloo City shop, which allows you to purchase items, especially at 200%, which is currently going on now. You get double the rewards. If you are a whale and you plan to hero grant, you'll also get yourself additional currencies through that. And even as a free-to-play, you get the free currencies through hero grant, as you can see here. This is what's going to unlock right there, these items here, and then the people who pay will get that one there, okay? So really important to do. Also at 200%, you can buy double the currencies, including tier tokens and breakstones and other currencies that are available through the shop. So absolutely take advantage of this when it's out. All right, and the last one here is bounties. This is something you don't want to neglect. Definitely refresh at 200%. Don't refresh before that, and don't refresh before you have stage 5 minimum, because stage 5 will give you double S and it gives you a ton of breakstones. But most importantly, do it at 200% only when the event is on. I wouldn't do it anytime before that. All right, guys, so those are the importance of this whole explore section. I just wanted to cover that real quick for you guys. This has not been unlocked yet, but we'll talk more about this when it comes out as an event, if it ever does. All right, guys, moving on to the next topic, and that is the importance of finishing 1540 as soon as possible and using your first divination. Alright guys, welcome back. So this is going to talk about 2 different things. Number 1, 1540 and the importance of clearing 1540. That'll actually unlock for yourself the new divination. So you do have to go to the next stage, 16-1, get 16-1 out of the way, and you'll actually unlock this little section here. And here what you're going to do the first time is it's going to pretty much walk you through it, is you're going to summon yourself a tutorial in order to unlock Bison. So this is going to be your first free copy of Bison. Definitely do the single. Don't do a multi, just do a single and you're guaranteed a Bison. I just want to point this out because a lot of people that don't know how the system works. So you'll automatically make you choose him, you get him, and that essentially is going to be your main unit for front tanking and taking all the damage and revival. Bison is an absolute beast, so you guys should definitely try to focus on getting past that. And then once you get past 1540, it's almost a cakewalk until maybe about 20, and that's when you're going to start struggling a little bit here and there. But check out all my free-to-play videos on that. I show you how I use Bison past stage 17, I think. And we just don't stop until about 20. So currently I'm on 2032. Haven't really focusing on my free-to-play lately. I've been too busy with the brand new game coming out. But stage 16 is extremely important for that reason. You get yourself 1 copy of Bison, and that's another reason why I say not to re-roll, because you can get to that point without having a Bison on your team whatsoever. And then also, just want to point out real quick, when you do have the event, you're going to have Steps of Honor, or sorry, Global Awakening. And the Global Awakening, they give you, I believe, 20 days or so, 25 days, whatever the case may be, to get yourself a chest that lets you choose a Master or Infernal unit. That's another way to get yourself a secondary Bison dupe, and I would recommend doing that as well and getting him to A+, and then focusing on getting him to SSS as soon as possible, because he will be one of your top units for the rest of the game going forward. Alright guys, going on to the next topic, we're going to be talking about Fighting Souls. Alright guys, welcome back. So we're going to be talking about Fighting Souls next. Now, what is a Fighting Soul and what is the difference between Fighting Soul and Fighting Spirit? So Fighting Spirit is something that you will unlock when you hit a unit at SS, and then it'll be this little area here on the left, but on the right here you have Fighting Souls. Now, Fighting Souls are going to be gathered through the game from the global operations as well as Inverse World. That's where we want to focus. Now, Fighting Souls are going to be equipable to any unit that you want to have. And they do different things. And I have a whole video on it. I'll link the video in the recommended section, so I'm not going to go too in depth. But what they do is they provide you stats right here, 2 stats always, based on the Fighting Soul. They also give you Fighting Soul skills as they will level up based on your stars. And as you level them up, you will actually be able to equip these Fighting Souls on other characters. Now, the way to get the fragments here is going to be through Inverse World and Global Operation. So make sure you guys focus on that. You can also get the fragments from Divination. You can also get them from just idling. So a couple different ways to procure these fragments. And as you level them up, the stats will go up as well too. Now, each one will do a different thing for different scenarios. So for example, Broken Formation is usually meant for bosses, because they don't go down a certain HP level, which is 70% or 80%, depending on the level that you have it at. And then there's different ones such as War Dance, which does a heal, but gives you attack bonus and a dodge. Echo, which gives you defense bonus and crit, so base for a tank, and this increases your healing based on the healing that you get, and it provides you additional healing. Assault is used for multi-hit units, so people who do more than, let's say, 7 to 8 hits, they actually do additional damage based on that, and it gives you attack bonus and defense bonus. Shelter is a shield that is provided in the beginning of battle, giving you HP bonus and crit bonus. Fast Chant gives you speed and effect resistance, and also fills your super bar in the beginning of the fight. It can only be used on one character, by the way, in terms of the actual effect, but the speed and stats can be used on multiple characters. Reckless is one that reflects damage back to the opponent based on your defense. So used on tanks, it gives HP bonus and effect resistance. And then there's Martial, which actually does more damage based on how much of the HP that the opponent loses. So you're good for PvE purposes. It also gives you attack and pressure. And then these two here, Valiance and Tyrant, are currently unavailable, but will be available in the future. If you're curious about more in-depth breakdown of all these and which characters they're best for, I will put this recommendation in the video as well too, so you guys can watch that video as well and take full advantage of my knowledge on fighting souls. But I just wanted to touch base on these and where to get them. So again, Inverse World and Global Operation is where you get these. These last two are not available, and the shards can be found in Divination, Idol, as well as Inverse World and Global Operation. Okay, so I want to talk about that. All right, next thing up is going to be Fighting Spirits, the assist, and going upwards to 40 on some units. We're going to talk about all that, and I'll link you guys the full video guide that I created and the Google spreadsheet in the recommended video section as well, and in the description. All right, guys, let's get on to that video. Alright everybody, welcome back. So now we're going to be talking about the other side of the gear section, and that's going to be Fighting Spirit. Now, Fighting Spirit is going to be available to any unit that you get up that's an A unit to SS. Okay, once SS is unlocked, this Fighting Spirit will be available to you, and I already have a full Fighting Spirit guide and ranking system and how many stones it costs on the recommended videos. That'll be at the end of the video as well as in the description, so check that out. But I want to go through each one and explain it to you guys what they do, not each one, sorry, what they're all about, and how to essentially level them up and how they're used. Okay, so first off, Fighting Spirits will give you specific stats. Most units that are faction units can go up to 30, so 0 to 30. Anyone who's Master Infernal can go up to 40, or Legendary can go up to 40. Okay, so those three different classes can go up to 40, or factions, I should say. But everyone else is maxed at 30. There's Fighting Spear stats, which will increase based on the ones that are in a bracket here with green. So these other ones cannot be increased, but these ones will. First thing to note is that. Second thing is the skill automatically changes when you activate it. Okay, so it goes starting at level 0. When you activate it, a specific skill is automatically changed. So for example, skill Magala Warrior becomes available, okay, for Ken. Now at +5, you unlock an assist skill. The assist skills are the ones that are above the characters, right? So there's 4 units in the bottom and then 2 above. Those 2 above will give you this specific +5 assist skill. That's what this means, okay? It can only be used at that level. So those two levels that you get to choose from. When you get to +10, now it becomes the character skills instead. So the character now unlocks something else. For example, Gormagala Blast inflicts Dragon Rage on all enemies. This is now a Ken-specific skill, will not be affected by the assist skill. At 20, again, a new skill for Ken when he's used in the main lineup. When in the starting lineup, obtain one stack of Sharpen at the beginning of battle. And then lastly, +30 will increase the chance of Sharpen to 30%. So FSs are going to be the most important resources in the game for you for the foreseeable future, because the number one, they're hard to come by. Number two, you have to be very sparing on what you get and how you use it. And number three, you can't reset and get them back. So make the proper decisions before you go any further with these resources. Now, again, my guide goes through every single character from 0 to 40. Now, like I said, 40 from 30 to 40, it's all just a stat buffer and boost, so it's not really worth it, and it costs quite a bit. But I've outlined how much each one of them cost, as well as a ranking for each character and who you should focus on first. So check out that guide, check out that video. It's going to be probably the most important video you watch outside of maybe a tier list that you care about, but that's going to be in the recommended videos. But again, Fighting Spirit is going to make or break your characters, and they completely change the way a character is used and how much damage / tanking / healing they do. So definitely, guys, one of the most important parts of the game. So take your time, learn about this, watch the guide that I created, look at the rankings, and if you need more help, let me know in the comment section. All right, now going to what the difference is between level 40 and going 240 after, and what the differences are and how you want to tackle the game at that point on. Okay, we'll talk about that next. All right, boys and girls, welcome back. So now we're going to talk about something that a lot of people have been asking questions about, and that is, what do we do before level 240 and what happens after level 240? So before 240, guys, your main crux or your main issue is going to be breakstones. You're going to need a lot of them in order to get your units past the level 240, and plus you're going to need 4 SSS units in order to break that limit. Now, what happens before that is you're going to be capped. You're going to be capped at a certain level based on the limitation of your character. So If you don't have triple S on 4 of them, you're going to be stuck at level 240 for quite some time on the units that are SSS until you get that 4th unit up there. Now, breakstones are going to be the most expensive part of this because you get the limited amount of those throughout the entire game. And then once you actually hit the 240 mark on 4 characters, you're going to have this new monument level, and it's going to actually refund you all of the breakstones that you got, and now fighter EXP becomes an issue. So it's going to be 2 different ways. Number 1, you're going to focus on breakstones, but at the same time, make sure you get yourself fighter EXP chests along the way. I did point out in my tips and tricks video a couple weeks ago on how to resource management, the further you are in the game, if you don't open those chests until you get further in, you get more rewards. It's all based on your idle rewards, okay? So keep that in mind, guys. So before 240, all about breakstones, okay? After 240, you're going to get refunded all your breakstones as long as you have 4 SSS characters on your roster that you can get past the 240 mark. You will be refunded all of your breakstones that you've used, and fighter EXP will be your biggest issue. In the beginning, you'll most likely get up to like level 270, level 275, and the way it works for limit breaks is the more SSS characters you have, every SSS character you have is going to increase your cap level by 5. So if you only have the 4 SSS characters, you're eventually going to be level capped. So you have to focus on getting every A unit to SSS in order to increase that cap. So for example, my cap is 420 because I have Akuma only at just S. Once he gets the triple S, if he ever does, I'll be able to move that up to 425 because he'll give me another 5 levels. If you don't have Fashion Sakura, you lose 5 levels. If you don't have Fashion Blanca, you lose 5 levels. The upcoming Vega and the upcoming Chun-Li, who's going to be probably legendary and purchasable, if you don't get those units, you're also going to lose another 5 and 10 levels right there. So that's how it works past 240, guys. You're going to eventually need to get every unit to SSS, minimum SSS, in order to increase that cap level and get further in the game and take advantage of some of the higher tier content. But before that, your main focus is breakstones. After that is getting your units to SSS and then getting yourself fighter EXP because breakstones become a lot easier to get. All right, guys, I just want to give you that information because a lot of you don't know that. That's how it works. All right, guys, going on to the next topic real quick here, and that is the difference between SSS or SSS plus 5. What should you be focusing on? Alright guys, welcome back. So this was going to be more about is it worthwhile going past SSS and what is the difference? The only difference between SSS, SS1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is going to be the base stat increase. So that is all you're getting when you're going further up the food chain in terms of SSS. So a lot of people have been asking, do you take your units past triple S if you're a free-to-play player? If you have to. You don't, it's not a necessity. My opinion is get as many SSS characters as you can, as I mentioned in the previous part of the video, that they will increase your level cap based on how many triple S characters you have. If you focus too much on getting triple S plus 5, you're only increasing those unit stats by a very minimal margin. I believe SSS plus 5 goes up to maximum 12 to 15% extra on stats, so it's not a significant difference. But if you were neglecting getting triple S characters before triple S plus 5, you're also stunting your growth in this game. So first and foremost, guys, triple S first before triple S plus 5. I just want to make this short video to explain that one because a lot of people do ask that question. So there you have it. That's my suggestion for you. And you know the reason why already. Do the level cap and the fact that you're going to need more than one team. And we're going to talk about that portion next. Alright guys, welcome back. So now we're going to talk about guilds and the importance of actually doing your guild Shadowlands and your guild crusades. So Shadowlands and guild crusades are going to be 2 events that happen all the time. Trial of Blood is going to be your base one. It's just essentially an AoE fest of you killing multiple units pop up to get yourself some gear, some guild points, or the medals here that let you go in the shop, and also diamonds. So just go ahead and raid. If you're free to play, you're not going to raid, you're going to just do it. But I'm just going to quickly do mine real quick here and just raid them. That way you get those out of the way. But you can see here the rewards are going to be such as diamond boxes, tokens here for medals, and gear that you're going to use. And this gear is important because even though it's crappy gear, it's going to be gear you're going to use to level up your good red gear, right? Or your yellow gear, whatever stage you're on. And you have the possibility of getting yourself some of the actual faction gear as well. So that's important. Now, Path of Fire is something that opens up after hitting a certain point of activity with your guild, and it is fighting Mech Zangief. It's a single target damage one, as you can see here. The rewards are a little better, and you have the ability to get the Tanuka World Fragments to unlock or increase and buff your EX moves, okay? Now, I'm not going to cover EX moves in this videos at all in terms of this tutorial, but I will link the EX move tutorial the EX move guide that I created a long time ago in the recommended video, so you can look more into that and how to get the tokens and which ones you should be focusing on first. So definitely, guys, every single day you should be doing that. Now, crusades are a whole different story. Crusades are going to be bosses. I've done tutorials for every single boss that you're going to hit. There's going to be leaderboards here that you're going to be able to reach, and every single time you get a reward, you get yourself some actual glory prizes. Now, if you're hitting the top Guild Vanguard and you're the top 1 to 10, you get yourself some fate gems, and then other times you're going to get rewards through your mail. That's going to give you more medals, diamonds, and as well as other free tokens. So make sure you do that. Now, for guild donations, ideally you only want to do this money one. This one's really not worth it for the extra 500, so this is going to be the best bang for your buck. But do not focus on putting too much into this unless you're a whale and you're looking to really support your guild that much. Guild information is a place you can declare. This is how you recruit. You hit the declaration and you guys can recruit from your servers. I believe they may have already fixed the issue in terms of global recruitment. I hope, at least. I'm not 100% sure, but guilds, guys, is a great way to get yourself equipment, diamonds, and easy leveling up stuff for your current gear that you have going on. So definitely do that every single day. Do the bosses every day and try to get that rank up. And remember, I have guides on every single boss. You guys can take a look on the recommended videos for those guides and see how you can get the maximum damage output for your characters and for your units. All right, guys, moving on to the mid to end game and how to prepare for it. Alright guys, welcome back. So now we're going to talk about preparation for mid to end game and what that means for you and how you should get yourself ready for it. Now, I'm going to talk about mid game. Mid game becomes a lot more challenging because, so mid game to me is like stage 28 to about, let's say 37, 36-ish, and then end game to me is like 30, 37 onwards, right? Now, 28 to 36, you're going to need just one team still throughout the entire thing. But prepare yourself, because once you hit 36, 40 or maybe 37, you're gonna need more than one unique team. And by a unique team, I mean you can't use the same units over for every team. So I'm gonna show you guys my challenge mode here. I'm at 39-12. As you can see here, I've got 3 teams I have to face. Okay, every single team is going to require a unique lineup, and I cannot reuse these units. So at 36-40, you're gonna need 2 teams. At 37-40, you're gonna need 3 teams. At 38-40, I think you need 4 teams. At 39-40, I believe it stays as 4 teams. At 40-40, I believe it goes to 5 teams. Okay, so what does that mean for you? You're going to have to prepare yourself to create more than 1 team at a time, focusing on maybe getting 2 at least to start with, so you're not stunted in your progression, and then eventually 3, 4, and 5. Now, this will become a lot easier as new characters and new events are out, and you can push yourself further, but just so you guys are prepared and you understand what endgame looks like, that's something to focus on as well. Now, another thing to note is when you get further up into Supreme Fist, at 240 of about 450 up, the actual CP comparison will be massive. Eventually, you're going to hit a block, and I mean a hard stop, where your CP is going to be too low, and it actually won't let you challenge any more modes until you get your CP higher. This is a hard stop. The game will not let you play any further. So whether it's in challenge mode or it's in Supreme Fist or any other mode, if your CP is, I believe, 4 to 5 times lower than the opponent's, the game actually stops you from playing. So prepare yourself for that and get multiple teams ready for end game content, because you're going to need it specifically for challenge mode. But for actual tower, you're going to need to focus more on 1 team CP, because again, the challenge difference in terms of power goes up very quickly, very drastically. And also, as I mentioned before, same thing will happen in Thunder Tower, where you're going to eventually hit a roadblock as a whale at 270, as a free to play at 120. Those are going to be your hardest roadblocks in the faction towers. Alright guys, just want to let you know how to prepare for endgame. That's something that a lot of people don't know about, and I'll put the video of endgame hell in the recommended videos as well, so you guys can check it out in the description section. Alright guys, moving on to the next topic, and that's going to be mercenaries, and we have 2 more things to go after that. Alright guys, welcome back to the video. So this is the second last topic I want to talk about, and that is free-to-play versus pay-to-win. Okay, so as you guys know, I do both of them on my channel. I do my free-to-play account, and then I showcase with my pay-to-win. So what is the difference, and how much are we looking to spend? So to get to my point in the game, which is 39-12, and I don't know, arena, let's just say top arena, top battle royale and server, and top 8 to 1 in Super Showdown, to get all characters leveled up to SSS plus 5, for most of them at least. And I've stopped spending for 3.5, almost a month now actually. So I've not spent a penny more. So my Akuma, for example, has not been touched past S. He's just free to play. But for this account specifically, it's about 13,000. That's right. I made a whole video on it. I will link it in the bottom for you guys again in the recommended video, so you can guys see how much it cost me. I do a total breakdown and everything, right? As free to play, you are better off as free to play, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm not saying don't fund the game. If you love the game, fund it. Do what you want to do. It's your money. But free to play, you are hitting less roadblocks. You are enjoying the content more to its fullest. You're enjoying the characters more. You're building characters and understanding them as you play the game, rather than just steamrolling through everything. And at the same time, a lot of my free to play guides explain to you how to play manual, and I think manual gameplay is a lot more enticing and exciting than auto gameplay, right? And this game is one of those games where you're gonna get hit a paywall. If you whale, you have to hit harder paywalls, and you have to whale even harder to get through them. Now, keeping in mind, as free to play though, you are gonna lower your level cap, and you're also going to lower the ability to get yourself like limited characters like this. So that's important. But at the same time, you save yourself real life money. You can focus on your kids, your family, yourself, etc. Right? While whales, just note that you're going to hit a very heavy paywall, and eventually you're going to run out of content. So which one do I choose? I would 100% go free to play in this game, but I want to quickly touch base on it and put up a few videos in the recommended section that you guys can watch on my thoughts on this and how I view it and why you should focus on free to play over whaling. But again, it's your money. Do what you guys want. I'm just here to help people with their addictions and hopefully get past that for some of the folks who are having a hard time still spending. But I just wanted to touch base on this one real quickly. And the last thing I'm going to do is just talk about some of the recommended videos. Okay, we'll talk about that next. Alright guys, this is the last topic in the hour-long video. We're almost there. I want to go over my recommended videos because I think this is something that a lot of you are having a hard time finding on my channel because there's just so much of it. And it's been officially a month now since I've been back doing content, and I think I've created over 130 videos at this point. But I want to show you guys which ones I recommend. So go to the playlist here, and I'll put these in the description as well, okay? I have a playlist for Honkai Star Rail, and I have a playlist for Street Fighter Duel. Now, Street Fighter Duel, I have 157 videos. Man, more than I even thought I'd made. So in these 157 videos, guys, if you click on the playlist, let me go back real quick, sorry. There we go. If you click on the playlist, beautiful playlist, you can see what's available to you. Let me turn this off real quick. And these are going to be some of the ones that I'm going to put on there. So for example, my account, how much I spent, everything that I've used, all stats explained. I think this is very important. I'm going to probably recommend this. Top pay to win and free to play units breakdown. This one here is the older version, but still highly recommended. I have showcases on every single unit that I've worked on so far. So you can see them. Not all of them are done yet, but we're still working on it. This is Killing Your Progression. Actually talks about awakening and how to approach the game from a free-to-play and a pay-to-win perspective. I have the community ones you can watch if you want, just my heartfelt thank yous and my thoughts. This is the EX move one that I was talking about, the review. It doesn't include Akuma, but I have a separate video for that, so I'll put that in there as well. These are some of the bosses fights that I've created and how to reach the top score, so definitely check those out. I didn't talk about PvP at all in the video, but I have PvP videos, so I'll put those in the link as well. Difference between Smart Awakening, the actual shop guide, which is a very important one and still very valid. Also things like gear guide, if you want to know about gear, this is there. Factional tower and the dojo features that you unlocked if you get them. So these are all of the videos I'm going to showcase how to be a proper whale here. I don't promote it, but it's there. Fighting Heart, I didn't even talk about it. I'll put the whole video in there. It's still extremely valid and completely up to date. So there's going to be a lot of content here, guys, but I'm going to do my best to recommend them to you in the recommended video section in the description, so check that out. There's going to be a lot of videos, but I'm going to do my best to make this as comprehensive for you guys as possible, so you have a one-stop shop for most content that you're looking for from me personally. All right, guys, this is Payne. I hope you enjoyed this long hour video. It took a lot of work. I'm still sick. I'm still coughing up my lungs, so if I have a cough here and there that I forgot to edit, I apologize, but I did my best. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon on the next one. And remember, Honkai Star Rail comes out very soon, and I'll be going live today for that. Take care, guys.